That's usually the best practice with me.
Nobody heard the pledge.
No comment. Madam Mayor, before we continue, I would just like to state for the record that we just realized we were muted for the first part of the meeting. So what has occurred so far is the call to order and pledge of allegiance. The city recorder took a roll call and ascertained that, in his words, we squeaked into a quorum, and we were just starting public comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
I'm Shannon Herman with the Toledo Summer Festival. And I'm just here to answer any questions you guys might have about our fireworks sales. And I'm not sure what you guys is on your agenda for fireworks sales. But
I know that we have an item on the agenda to discuss whether or not we're going to allow those in Toledo, as other towns are doing other things, but we're not quite there yet. So I'm glad that you're here. And as we're having that discussion later, we'll welcome you to join in with us, and we're at the proper time. We have to keep the quorum, of course.
Yeah.
So thank you, Shakira.
thank you.
All right. Does anybody online like to speak to any item not currently on the agenda?
It's not appear so, Mayor.
Okay. Seeing none, we're gonna close out the public comment section and move on to the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All right. I have moved by Councilor Keating and seconded by Councilor Chambers to approve the consent agenda as presented. Could we do a roll call vote, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, we sure can. Councilor Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilor Chambers,
Yes.
Councilor Keating,
Yes.
Mayor Mix.
Yes.
Madam Mayor, the motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Now we are moving on to community service and our presentations to the council, the ARC of Lincoln County final report for the contributions committee. That's it. So we have this report in our packet. Mr. Hibner, did you want to say anything about this, or?
Madam Mayor, I don't have anything to add to the report that is in the packet. If council has any questions, I'm happy to convey those to the ARC and bring answers to you at your next meeting. But we wanted to include it in the packet for council's information, and so that you're aware that they met the final reporting requirement.
Great, thank you. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay.
Just a comment to say that I think it's worth us noting that the ARC has done a huge service to the city of Toledo, particularly with taking over the OLF building here on Third. That was a space that we didn't really know was going to happen. There were a lot of services that were housed in that space, and it was very well utilized. But as I understand, it was a lot of funding challenges that they were facing, that they were not able to use it anymore. So it's great to see that. I know Nikki and I have spoken a few times about the challenges that they were facing finding an affordable space for the work that they were doing. So the fact that they were able to secure that space and all of the work that they've been doing to improve it, the mural that they were doing, getting a lot of people from the community to volunteer for the work to improve that space. I do think that it's important to note in a space, in a setting like this, not just am I glad to see that they were able to benefit from the contributions from the city, but how much they're contributing to the city by taking that space is really wonderful to see.
Absolutely. Right. With that, let's go ahead and move on to our discussion and information items. Our first item for discussion is a town hall meeting in March at the fire hall.
So, Madam Mayor, at your last meeting, there was discussion that kind of started around the topic of water conservation. And that discussion led to a desire by council to replace your March regular work session with a town hall. And there was discussion around water conservation definitely being a topic of conversation for that meeting. And there was some discussion amongst council of possibly trying to focus on maybe 2 or 3 topics, including water conservation, that would be of interest to the public. So wanted to bring this topic back for discussion this evening, get some additional consensus and direction for staff to begin promoting that event and putting out the appropriate notices. I do recall that there was a suggestion, and we'll be ready to implement that as soon as tomorrow, to kind of ask the public, what do you want to talk to your council about? But wanted to double check with council if councilors had thought of any other topics that they wanted to bring forward before we start the promotion and community interaction.
Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think the next thing on our list is something that might make a lot of sense to
Might be one of those.
Yeah, I kind of wish that these 2 items were flipped, because I have a feeling that a town hall setting is particularly a good opportunity, especially after we have a preliminary discussion today. Might be a good setting for us to kind of hear from the community and answer some questions about what fireworks guidelines might look like. That might be a good topic for that setting.
Okay.
And Counselor, you mentioned a moment ago wishing that the 2 items were flipped. Are you meaning on tonight's agenda?
Yeah.
We can certainly do that if that's of interest to council. We can.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
It's more just to say that I think we've seen from conversations happening in our neighboring communities around fireworks mandates and guidelines. A lot of people are turning out for this, and I know that we've got a phenomenal fireworks show here in Toledo, and I know that the people of Toledo really enjoyed their fireworks. I like to sleep a little bit more, but I have a great appreciation for the entertainment value. So I think it's a topic that I expect people in this community care a lot about. I think that would be a really appropriate one for town hall.
We're good.
Jackie, do you have anything that you would like to see in the town hall?
The next discussion might inform this question, I think, a little bit more. Like, I'm not entirely sure why fireworks guidelines are on the agenda, and depending on why they're on the agenda, that would merit I think we would need to know that to know whether or not it's something to talk about today. I feel like walking into this cold, it feels like we're inventing an issue that doesn't exist. And,
Right,
and I can be really clear about my perspective, which is that we shouldn't change anything.
I think a lot of us feel that way,
Should
but
we
the
move
reason,
this to that
We can
topic?
swap it. We can swap it.
And because that's all my questions too, were,
well, mine aren't. I have a couple other things that I'd like to
Okay.
add, but I would like to speak to Eric's comment. The reason that the fireworks guidelines are on this agenda is because we are seeing all of our neighboring communities say no. They won't even allow fireworks sales. And there's getting to be a little bit of a pressure, not really too much pressure, but for Toledo to follow suit if we would. And historically, we never have. So I think that we could, if we want to flip it, but if we do flip it and go to a fireworks right now, I do want to come back to the town hall
oh, definitely.
because, there's some other things that I
Yeah,
definitely
we
want
need
to
to
see there.
discuss the town hall.
Absolutely. So we can do that. We can go ahead and switch to the fireworks discussion at this time. I do know, like I said, I do know that Newport has just voted to ban all fireworks sales in Newport. I think Lincoln City has done the same thing, and they won't let anybody set them off. So, this is kind of our response, our opportunity to let our community know what stance we intend to take on their behalf for this.
Well, that's where my question is, or questions. What's the history of incidents relating to fireworks? How many man-hours are pulled away by fireworks calls? Or injuries because of fireworks? Is it substantial enough to put a ban on it?
No, because
In
in
my
Toledo, we let
opinion,
nature
I
take its
can't
course.
remember if an idiot is messing with fireworks and blows part of their finger off.
Then he's been
Um,
told, don't do that.
He's got a hospital bill to pay, but that's his personal choice. And so my concern is the cost to us as a city. Man hours and stuff.
I
And
do not know.
for the fireworks show, is it intended, do you know, to be at the same location that it's been for ever, over the water,
Correct.
on a field that is used to getting burnt?
On the field that's used to getting burnt?
Where they set them off,
Yes.
that area of ground where it's set,
Uh-huh.
you have grass fires that are easily contained
Oh, yeah.
and maintained, and
They're
so it's the same location, same practice,
quickly
same,
extinguished.
different year, right?
We-
extinguished with the fire crew.
I remember one year that the fireworks
it's been
set
great.
off a fire that they could not deal with. There was a pier out in the middle of the water.
I can only speak to back to 2023. But I don't remember.
Oh, I can remember Stu getting hot coals down his
What?
back too, but he still did it the next year.
um,
You did get the pier out that time.
The sheriff's boat came up and
Okay.
they put a fire extinguisher on.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you, Mr. Mix.
But it's gonna be the same stuff, so why should we show any more concern than?
I think that's really fair when we're thinking about, the controlled fireworks show. I think some of where the regulations are coming in from our neighboring communities is more about the stuff that is
Right.
just, you know,
Incidental off.
yeah, so, and I mean, I think part of the recognition and where I generally agree with the sentiment that Councilor Chambers shared of, I don't really want to do anything, a lot of it comes down to, for me, in those communities, Newport, Lincoln City, so forth, a lot of the people who are setting off fireworks are people who are coming from out of town, who are bringing them with them and shooting them off over the lake and stuff like that, or on the beaches, whatever, at their short-term rentals. That's not something that we can really, control for as much.
Nor can they.
Right, how do we get that information out?
You're gonna
So-
just increase your response?
But I do think that part of where some of my concern comes in is, what the origin of our town hall discussion is, which is water conservation. That's rooted in drought conditions that we've experienced recently, which comes with higher probabilities of fires. So I do think it's at least worth acknowledging that we're kind of looking at year over year drier summers, and the, peak use of fireworks is happening at the driest time of the year. And so I do think that it's at least worth acknowledging that, and I don't know if there are some safeguards that we can think about, or maybe it's about how we put messaging out into the community about safe use of fireworks or something along those lines. I just think that it's worth at least acknowledging that when we're looking at the time of year, when we're looking at being at how we are running our city in drought conditions and as out of fear of drought conditions, I do think that fireworks do create a certain fire risk, not just from the big show, but also just from general people who don't know how to use them.
Well, one thing I would, no, you can wait. One thing that I always come back to is in Toledo, we have if we don't let them do it in town, they're just gonna go up in the woods.
Right.
And
That's more
it
dangerous.
Which is worse.
is so much easier to control an accidental fire in town than it is to have an out of control fire in a major drought situation.
Yeah.
Because nobody gave them a safe place in order, didn't allow them to let them off someplace safe.
When was it that they put a restriction? The fire department stepped in and said, was it last year or the year before? There was a restriction on fireworks and fires, period, because of the drought
I think the
conditions.
state has the ability to
So
declare
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
temporary
so-
things.
I don't remember that.
We didn't have any in my history with the board.
Well, I don't think for the big display, but there might have been like a personal fireworks.
That's what I'm
use
talking
So
about.
or-
the county a couple years ago did,
Yeah.
they said no sales.
It's
The county did, and.
because of the drought.
I believe.
Yeah, but they can't control what we do in Toledo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can only enact policy in unincorporated
What
county.
I'm saying is, there's already establishments with procedures and policies toward protecting from drought. Why are we butting into their business?
Yeah. We have a gentleman out in the audience that would like to speak to council.
We also have another gentleman
This is true.
that was raising his hand too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just a point of order, more question type of point of order, but, because I did see the hand raised from somebody online. Do we have is this part of that procedure where we would have our discussion and then we would open to public comment for the agenda item? Is that?
It isn't traditionally because this is a discussion item rather than a for action item.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
thank you.
I wasn't sure because that question also came up when earlier we were suggesting that, I'm sorry, Shannon, when we were suggesting Shannon participate in public comment, I was like, wait, but it is on the agenda and anyway, okay.
Well, and I guess we should maybe explain why. So the reason that Shannon has been kind of invited here is because Toledo Summerfest sells fireworks and do our fireworks show every year. So they're a very important partner to the city, and we wanted to have them in on this discussion. Mr. Mix has an extensive career as a firefighter, so that's where he has some knowledge to lend to. So that's one reason to have them involved in the discussion, I
Appreciate
suppose.
that. Also provide some clarity as to the public comment aspect for the
Exactly,
meeting. Thank you.
so, so anyway, I'm sorry, one of you,
So I'm Randall Probst. I'm also a board member with the Toledo
If you
Summerfest.
would please, sir.
For the microphone, if nothing else.
So I'm Randall Probst. I'm a board member with Toledo Summerfest, and I'd like to speak on behalf of the fireworks display. It's provided to the public in a very well guided and supervised grounds. So any spot fires that may be, we have multiple people on those grounds to extinguish right away. So we've got that area very well covered, and it's considered every time, and that's part of the fireworks display conversations of how many people are here, and we have to have a set number of people in an area. So on behalf of the sales of the fireworks, again, I agree that in a controlled, more of a controlled area within the city, I agree with you, Mayor Nix, rather than have them into the wooded areas. So the sales do provide extra income or money toward the purchase of those fireworks for the display of the public. And it's kind of a tradition that we'd like to continue to do. It's very well observed or monitored during the process. And we're under, the fire marshal's guidelines too. So.
thank you, yes, Jackie.
And to that point, if we interfere with the fireworks show at all at our level, rather than county or state or some outsiders interfering with the fireworks show, we would be cutting our own throats.
I have no
The fireworks
think
show
anybody-
brings how many people a year?
I
40?
don't think anybody.
Thousand?
It's about 15,000 over the weekend.
Just 15 for the whole weekend?
Oh, money?
No,
People.
It's about 15,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I do think
Customers.
that
yeah,
actually,
it's about 5,000 a day roughly.
to
About
echo,
5,000 a day, so.
yeah, to echo Councilor Kaufman's comments though, like I think the heart of what we're pointing out is like, this is the best night to be a person from Toledo. Like it's my favorite event of the year. I've been to every one of them except one where I attended my cousin's wedding, which sure he's not watching. I regret it. I wish I had been at the Summerfest. So I like what you guys do, particularly what you picked up when there was a minute where we might lose this thing, and you picked it up and ran with it. And Our community can't thank you enough for that. From my perspective, this council can't support you enough for the work that you do. I think maybe it is useful to put this on the agenda just to have a definitive statement about how we feel about this topic, but I'm unambiguous in my support for what you do
Exactly.
and the things that get you there.
Well, we appreciate the support and hope that it'll continue. It's a cherished event that people talk from years past. That, their kids grew up, they remember coming to it. It's a family event. I
It's
mean,
our own little slice of Americana.
yeah, and it's disappearing so many places. I mean, for an example, your Lincoln County Fair doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And this is one that does, and it brings people in as a community.
Exactly.
They're seeing old friends, they're bringing their own kids that have grown up and now got kids. So, we want to see that tradition continue, and part of that is the fireworks and the sales to support the fireworks display, because as you know, the cost of everything has gone up, and we need those sales as to help fund it,
It's
It's
roughly
just,
10% of the fireworks show.
we're reaching for sponsors and, members, volunteers. So it,
I mean, if we'd like to put together a city council team for trivia, what night is it? What night's the next trivia?
Next
Let's
night
get that quorum
is
announcement
the
out.
last
Yeah.
Friday of March.
Yeah. When is it?
The last Friday of March.
20
This one's at Timbers. downstairs, so it'll be a little bit more of a adult themed trivia,
So
not,
that's the last Friday in March. I think that would be so much fun.
we invite you to bring a group, get other friends, bring,
yeah.
Absolutely.
come down and join us. And those actually help with the Toledo Summerfest, different aspects.
That's fine. Could we, Mr. Weaver, could we, thank you. I don't even have to finish. Mr. Mix, would you like to read a statement from one of our other counselors that could not be here tonight, our city council president, so.
Hi, my name's Jonathan Mix. I'm a engine boss for a federal contractor. I've been a firefighter for 30 years, volunteer on that. Volunteer probably about 20 years, and contractor to mix that. So I've seen a lot of different weather patterns and conditions. And so the one thing I really wanted to talk about was the situation with the fireworks. Okay, so Oregon law, it's illegal to have aerial fireworks unless you're, like.
Have a license.
You guys have a special license or something?
Yes.
But for citizens can't have aerial fireworks. So those are the ones that pretty much will start fires because they're launching a fireball, say like a Roman candle or whatever, you're launching a fireball into the woods or wherever. Right, or bottle rockets and stuff like that, different things that shoot fire into the sky and then it lands somewhere. So the ones that are legal in Oregon are like little fountains and noisemakers and stuff like that aren't as so susceptible to starting fires unless they like put it in a dry grass or a brush pile or something like that and light it off. It's gonna, of course, it's gonna start the fire. So it's a lot of common sense. Like you put it in a gravel parking lot, whatever. So like
In the street.
yeah, but it's like then they leave their trash around. So I can see that part of it. It's like make it illegal because the people are leaving their trash everywhere on the beach and everywhere.
Then you find them for littering.
Right, and so like you said about the drought. So when there's a drought, they cut off fires and firework ban and all that stuff because so you don't need to have another layer. There's already things there in place, and instead of making it just straight up illegal to have fireworks, if they
I'm sorry, I can't understand the illegal to have fireworks. I didn't hear any of that.
okay. No, but what I'm saying is, if you do that, it's pointless because we still have to have our celebrations and everything like that. And so the people that are lighting off things that are illegal in the state of Oregon to light off, they should get a ticket. And if you make it illegal, those people are still going to shoot them off, and you're going to have to catch them anyways. So all you're doing is hurting the people that are going to light off the fountains with their kids and all that. So, and as far as like July 4th, it's actually not the driest part of the year. The worst part is late August, or then September. Sometimes it starts raining, but a lot of times August is the big fire time.
But the summer festival is usually late July.
Right.
We're the second weekend in July this year.
Oh, good.
And
Oh,
so,
see, it's even better.
and so this, as far as this area goes, okay, so, I think I did a presentation, I know you guys, there's some new people here that haven't seen that, but, they have the state fire map, a wildfire risk map or hazard map, or whatever they call it. And so if you look, zoom in and look at Toledo, it's a green island. Okay, green is low potential for wildfire risk, and that's average. Okay, and so typically, it's gonna be green. Worst case scenario, bad drought, it's gonna be mild. And Lincoln City had a fire, we had a fire down in Florence, we had fire all around. We had fires here, but they were able to put them out fast enough. Now, condition of the fire department, you know, you don't have a lot of people, so it's questionable, but you still have ODF and other people to respond, but. So that's pretty much what I want to say, is just kind of make some clarifications on all that stuff.
Thank you. Not one thing ever. What's that, Shannon? Okay.
I'll just speak on behalf of the board. We would be interested in going over with the city or in the fire department on education and handing that out at our fireworks booth to enhance knowledge about
It's
fireworks
like
safety.
a flyer or something, yeah.
Yeah, we would definitely be willing to do something like that.
Yeah, I kind of want to acknowledge that I feel like we're all arguing against an opponent that isn't in the room.
Exactly.
Right, like there doesn't seem to be anybody here who actually wants to regulate fireworks in this city.
So I would be, we really definitely want to just educate people on fireworks safety.
Yeah.
I think that would probably be a better conversation than fireworks ban.
Yes, and that's kind of what I was trying to get to, so I'm glad that you brought that up. Yeah.
So that's why it'd be a good city hall talk.
That's great.
Yeah, so we'll absolutely help with that.
Like a bill stopper for the water bill.
If we have
Yeah.
It's the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, there were.
If
you
we
know,
do have that as one of our topics for the city hall thing,
But I really like the idea of handing out a flyer whenever somebody buys fireworks, here's your flyer.
Well, I do want to quickly visit that. I don't want to talk about this in a town hall. Like, I don't,
I
like,
think that's fair. Yeah.
like, I have no interest in like creating the perception of an issue where one doesn't actually exist. So, but like, I think if what I'm hearing, we're pretty in alignment, so.
Yeah.
I
see,
don't
I'm
feel like-
thinking that we take fireworks out of it. And
Take
fire safety.
Oh, sure, yeah, that's, yeah.
You know, clean your property, clean away from the house,
Yeah.
clean. When you're doing fireworks, do them safely
It's
with
called
water
defensible
supply, blah, blah,
safety.
blah. It all ties into,
Drought, fire safety.
We really only
exactly.
sell snakes and sparklers, so.
And so then
None of
they
those.
could hand out
Yeah.
papers at work. I'm not talking about fireworks
And with this event taking place at the fire station, that'd be a great opportunity to have our great professional firefighters give this
Absolutely.
presentation on fire safety and firework.
And it ties well to the drought conditions
Just
that we're.
fire safety and drought.
Maybe we could end the
Yeah.
town hall with a little fireworks show
No,
in the
no
parking lot.
So, sure.
Proper way
This kids, that's how you do it, have them show it how to, you know,
Oh, yeah, just how to handle it.
right? I mean, we're gonna
There we
need
go,
some
with
fireworks.
the buckets
I
of
was gonna say, now we
water.
just gotta figure out where to buy fireworks in March.
I might-
I know a lady who
I might
sells
have-
them
Until
I might have
July
some of the
28th.
Talk to Stu,
Okay,
I do
talk to
want
the firework
I have
fair.
a statement that I want to read really quick, and then can we go to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, our council president couldn't be here tonight, he had, unfortunately, a family issue. So he asked that we read, the statement in. I asked the mayor to add the discussion topic to this meeting as we are seeing countywide cities are banning the sale and use of fireworks. And I felt it necessary to have this conversation now so the people who put on our biggest festival know where they stand on one of their fundraisers. We have seen year after year our citizens being responsible with their Oregon Safe fireworks. Frankly, that's a good one. It's not the fireworks people travel out of state for that account for more fires. Property damage and more injuries, not the ones bought at stands such as the stand that sets up at Dairy Queen on Highway 20. Those sales are a direct fundraiser for the Toledo Summerfest and Logging Show fireworks display Saturday evening. I messaged Shannon Herman from the Toledo Summerfest and asked her for details on their fireworks stand sales and how much it helps with the fireworks show. Here is her response. Here is the percentage of the festival's profit from the fireworks booth that directly pays for the fireworks display for the last 3 years. We do not have access to records before 2023. For 2023, it was 23.18%. 2024, it was 11.99%. In 2025, it was 12.46%. The 2003 was the comeback year after COVID. All fundraising efforts were much larger that year. That being said, the fireworks booth is over 10% of the fundraising needed to put on a display. The festival in general costs close to $100,000 every year. We fundraise several months throughout the year to accomplish this. The fireworks booth is our third highest revenue behind buttons, entry, and our auction. Shannon had stated she would put this meeting on her calendar to attend. And I would ask that she be invited to speak on this subject at the appropriate time if she is in attendance. Here is my input on banning sales and use in Toledo. I cannot support it. As stated above, it is the fundraiser that directly affects a festival that draws thousands to our town every year. And historically, our citizens are responsible with their Oregon safe fireworks. Thank you for your time. Frank Sylvia, City Council President.
And we'd like to invite all Newport residents to come to our fireworks stand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the
Summer
city and
Festival.
Newport and all y'all. Come here, come watch our fireworks.
We will
Have
have
a
all
great
their
time.
message boards.
Yes, have a great time with us. So now, I'm sorry that Andrew wanted to say something.
Yeah, so I think that it makes a lot of sense for us to, it feels very on theme when we get to the town hall, that if it begins with an educational type of program that talks about what drought conditions or this particularly dry winter that we had could mean for how the city prepares for this summer, that is a really good kind of preface to, fire safety education,
Water conservation.
all of that. And I do think that, expecting perhaps that discussion to include when we have like burn bans and things like that. Because I think that that's something that often comes out more via social media and more because people are confused about what they're supposed to do. Then the answers show up, than necessarily people feeling like they have the information proactively. So I think speaking to kind of how the burn ban system works or how people get notified about when burn bans are in place. And then, of course, fire safety. I think the point that I was kind of getting at very early on, and I think we're all kind of latching onto, is I love the idea of the city partnering with Summer Festival and if there is anybody else that's selling fireworks type products in our city, I think having some sort of a partnership where pamphlets are going out, flyers are going out, some sort of education program. But there's also something that Tracy said that really stood out to me, and that was the idea of a safe place to do fireworks. And it got just kind of in the back of my mind that I don't necessarily dislike the idea of if we did something with like our firefighters playing, like doing fireworks with kids, or some sort of like an event, something that's very much like helping to fuel sort of the appetite around the 4th of July for shooting off fireworks, family activity, stuff like that. Maybe there is a safe fireworks, educational, like engagement thing that we can do that is a safe place for kids and families to, to play with fireworks. I don't know, but just, like I said, not stewing for more than 5 minutes in the back of my mind.
Maybe that's something we could do on the 4th or around the 4th.
I mean,
because-
he's talking like that and it's popping in my head, this big community festival where everybody from the county comes here and they're laying off all their fireworks and sparklers all around, and I'm gonna be 10 years old again and trying to burn my cousin's hair.
Isn't that what already
Like,
happens?
I can bring princesses.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've got a great, I don't know that we have time to actually set up a full event like that this year.
Yeah.
But I like the idea.
Just a little display kind of
The
safety
safe
awareness.
Well, I
kind of
think that the safety awareness thing would really be a great tie-in with our town hall if we're having a water conservation. Maybe we bring the we have the discussion about defensible spaces and how, fire safety around the home. And then, and that can segue into towards the end of the meeting, safety about how, how to safely use fireworks, how do we set it up, what do we do? And then we could all go outside after we're done with everything else and
Fireworks.
set off some fireworks and yay. So I think that would be kind of fun. And I think it would be a great way to kind of round the town hall together too, and yet still have that safety element and the fire safety throughout the whole thing. But we're still addressing the water conservation aspect and leading right into what we wanted to do is be addressing the water shortages and what we're going to be doing, dealing with it this summer. So I don't know, is that what we want to do with our town hall, is just have it basically around fire safety and water conservation and the different things? So do we want to?
I think so.
Yeah, and I think we should just be very particular about the wording. Like, I think the way that you just said it, Mayor, is the right wording.
What did I say?
Fire safety and water conservation.
Yeah.
I just want to stay
Yes.
away from like any idea that there's controversy.
Yeah.
And I think,
Yeah.
and I think the agenda item and not having like a report
Yeah.
or any sort of like plan.
Yeah, I
thing.
looked at it like, oh, I wonder what I'm walking into. I
Right.
mean,
Same here, it was like,
We all came in ready to
it ain't
defend fireworks.
happening, it ain't happening.
But what about a consensus around the idea of the city developing materials or finding materials to potentially work with
I
fireworks vendors?
bet if we
Let
talk
me
to our
tell
fire chiefs, they already have something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet they already have pamphlets galore.
Yep.
So, I think that's a great idea, and I would love to partner with Summerfest and doing that, but unfortunately, we don't have any more of our chiefs with us tonight, so.
Just put them in all the bags.
Rich, is maybe that's something that you could bring up talk to them and see what they would be able to bring to us, and we could discuss that at a coming up meeting.
Absolutely. Chief Lapoff is out for the rest of the week, but I've already, I've got some time on the calendar with Deputy Chief Robeson tomorrow, and I'll bring that up with him. I'm just making a note for myself so I don't forget in the morning.
All right,
Fire safety information.
okay.
And,
Great.
and aren't we doing the town hall at the fire station?
We will.
Yes.
So that's
So
my
aren't
thought.
we
If
gonna be
we
doing the fireworks display demonstration for safe?
out in the parking lot, we
Yes,
could rope it off somewhere and
Larry might need to be prepared for that.
When is the town hall?
I think we're gonna have the town hall when? The
March
third?
25th.
March 25th.
It's in place of your regular work session.
I knew it was, I just didn't know the date.
Fire department has two parking lots. You have the one on the one side where they're parking utility trailers, their
Mhm.
apparatus, support
Junk.
vehicles.
Yeah.
Maybe they could
And then
reposition
and then
them
the
and
main
do the
parking lot.
fireworks there.
Yeah.
That way, the other parking lots for your attendees, fireworks are away from the vehicles. It's part of the safety issue.
That's what I mean, they need a heads up to prepare for.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think we wanna be down there where they burn cars.
So do you have enough consensus from us as to what we want to go over on the town hall, or do we need to refine on it?
I think I've got what I need, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Does anybody else have anything else that they would like to discuss in that? Okay.
Were we gonna have a public comment on?
No, we have no decision
Okay.
items.
Okay.
We have no decision
I'm
items
still
tonight.
confused, you know?
That's okay. So, we have no decision items, we have no reports and comments tonight. So let's go, or did you have anything you wanted to?
Yes, just one item tonight, Madam Mayor, that has come up since the agenda was published. So you'll all recall, we had a special meeting, time as a flat circle. I think it was last year, might have been early this year, where we considered and ultimately you approved with some guidelines for me a change order related to the water upsizing project. So quick refresher for a council. We have a new council member since then. Last August, council took a vote, directed staff to proceed with an SDC waiver for the Olala Meadows housing project. And at the time, then Councilor Mix asked the CEO of Northwest Coastal Housing to confirm that they were asking only for the SDC waiver and not a waiver of the installation and inspection fees, which they confirmed at the time. So we went forward with that structure. And so Northwest Coastal Housing was anticipating doing the installation portion at a later date once they have closed on their financing. We were approached by Lincoln County and asked by the county if we could do the either boring or open cutting for that installation while we already have the road open and under construction. So we've been having some conversations with Northwest Coastal Housing on if the timing of that lines up. And so we have been asked by Northwest Coastal Housing to consider enacting an additional change order with trench line, since they're already there, they're doing the work, they have the road open. They have quoted us trench line in this case approximately $28,000 to do that additional work. And Northwest Coastal Housing has confirmed that they are prepared to remit payment for that. So it would be a net zero to the city, but the city would, of course, be expending that money and then being reimbursed for it. So I would need council's authority to execute that change order because it's more than my spending authority, $25,000. So my question to council this evening, and we have a quorum present with us. Your next meeting for action would not be until March 18th. They would like to move forward with this if that's the desire of the city as soon as possible while the road construction project is still ongoing. So my question to council is there availability of at least, I'm going to ask the four of you since you're constituting the quorum this evening, is there availability of council either Friday or Monday, because at least 24 hours, to do a special meeting to consider authorizing that change order?
Yes.
A quick question.
Sure.
Do we have to have a separate meeting for it, or do we have the ability? I mean, do we have the ability to have it do a motion and a vote to approve it today?
Now,
No, it hasn't been noticed.
I think it has to be noticed, doesn't it?
Well, not
Because
technically.
it's my understanding, we can theoretically
You
move
can-
on anything.
You can add items to your agenda at a regular meeting. That's absolutely correct. So let me, to Councilor Keating's question. At your last meeting, or your last meeting on this topic, there was some discussion around, sorry, it was actually a different topic. So there was discussion around an item that the city attorney had brought forward to the council. And much appreciated, now Mayor Mix had mentioned that it was something where she would feel comfortable authorizing myself specifically and Savani Miller specifically to negotiate on that topic if needed on behalf of the city. But if it was a different city manager and or city attorney, you would want to retain the oversight authority. So you passed the motion at the time that specifically named myself and the current city attorney. So I use that as a little bit of background to say, I don't have the change order to bring to you this evening that specifically says, here are all the terms of the change order. But if what you would like to do this evening, rather than have a special meeting, is vote to authorize myself and the city attorney to negotiate a change order with a not to exceed dollar amount, then you can
execute.
And execute, yes. Then you can absolutely add a business item to your agenda, have that discussion and hold a vote.
The only thing that I would be interested in, I don't have a problem with what you just described, I think we should probably do that tonight.
Yes.
But I, like the sequence that I hope we would see is like a firm agreement secured with the entity
Yes.
that will reimburse it
Yes.
before we execute the change order.
Yes, and you and I think very similarly in that vein, Counselor. I have expressed to Northwest Coastal Housing that if we are to go down that road, that there would need to be the two options that we have is either execute an agreement in which they will reimburse the city after we have incurred the expense. Or, and this is not unique to Northwest Coastal Housing, this is a practice that the city does with any new developer, individual house. You constructed a new home, you had to have a new connection on your property when you did that, Counselor. One of the options that would have been available to you would be to have made a deposit to the city where the public works staff would estimate, we got to extend the line X length, we think it's going to cost X amount. You could have made a deposit to the city, we would have reimbursed you if it was less. Yeah.
That was how it went, but it was not a great.
So those are the two options that we have. We can either execute an agreement with Northwest Coastal Housing in writing that says you reimburse us once we incur the expense, or we provide them an invoice with the estimated cost, and they basically submit a deposit to us in advance. So,
Yeah, although the way it worked is that, I don't want to get into it too much, but
Sure.
you submit a deposit for the full estimated cost, and then
Yes.
they reimburse you. So you give the city $7,000 and they send you back $3,000. Like, it's not anyway.
So I will say, I'm happy to make the motion. Rich, perhaps you could give me the language for what you would need it to be?
Sure. So the first thing that you would need to do as council is add the item to the agenda. So the first thing that I would ask is a council member to make a motion to add a business item to the agenda for the March 4th, 2026 business meeting.
I move to add a business item to the agenda for the
March 4th.
March 4th City Council regular meeting.
Second,
It has been moved by Andrew, seconded by Jackie, to add an agenda item tonight.
Madam Mayor, give me just a moment, please.
Save ourselves a meeting.
Yeah, I like where you're going with it.
So efficient.
I can't do Fridays and I like my Mondays off.
Sorry, seconded?
I'm sorry,
Who seconded the motion?
Jackie.
Councilor Cobb.
Thank you.
Councilor Chambers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Councilor Copper?
yes?
Councilor Keating?
Yes.
Mayor Mix?
Yes.
The motion to add an item, a decision item to the agenda has passed. 4-0.
Quick question, Rich, do you need us to authorize you to enter the reimbursement agreement? Or is that something that you're able to do without us?
Yes, I would. I'm just writing the motion
Okay.
at the moment. So thank you, Counselor. Yes, we
Would you like a
would.
couple minutes?
I would love a couple
Okay,
minutes.
let's go ahead and take a break so anybody can use this. So we're gonna go ahead and just take a pause.
Resume.
And here we are called back into order.
For the record, Mayor, I wanted to note that the agenda item that we added is related to a potential motion to authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a change order.
Thank you for that clarification, Councilor Keating.
And with that, I move to authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a change order with trench line excavation to add the installation of approximately 30 linear feet of owner-supplied water line for the Olala Meadows project at a cost not to exceed $28,340.40, and further authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute an agreement with Northwest Coastal Housing for the reimbursement of expenses related to this change order.
Before we get a second, I had a Scrivener's error in the written motion. Counselor, if you would amend the motion to be $28,380.40.
Can I say for 30,000?
Sure.
There we go.
All right. I would like to correct my motion. I move to authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute a change order with the trench line excavation to add the installation of approximately 30 linear feet of owner-supplied water line for the Olala Meadows project at a cost not to exceed $30,000 even, and further authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute an agreement with Northwest Coastal Housing for the reimbursement of expenses related to this change order.
Thank you,
Have a
Counselor.
second. Second. Okay, it has been moved by Counselor Keating and seconded by Counselor Kaufman.
Counselor Chambers,
Yes.
Counselor Kaufman,
Yes,
Counselor Keating,
Yes.
Mayor Mix.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Counsel.
Thank you. That was,
So we don't need to meet Friday or Monday, right?
We do not need to hold a special meeting after the action you took tonight. Thank you very much.
and with that, let's move on to council comments. Counselor Kaufman, do you have any comments? No? Counselor Chambers?
I've already teased the only item I was going to bring up. I went to the Summer Festival trivia last weekend, and it was a good time had by all. And I thought it'd be fun to encourage the council, city staff, anybody else in the community that wants to come. They're fun little events, and they can sure use the help. So, yeah. I think check out the Summer Festival's Facebook page. They've got the dates posted for the next 3, I guess we've got, right? 2 at Timbers and
The last Fridays of every month, coming up next 3 months.
Okay. And where's there's 2 at Timbers and where's the other one?
Cobblestone.
Okay. Great. Counselor Keating?
If my night is open, I will gladly join a city council trivia team. Great idea, Eric.
Even if it's on a Friday?
If it's Friday, it's not open, my schedule is not open, but if it's an item available, I am there.
Okay.
The only thing that I wanted to raise some awareness of is that I received a call from Representative Gomberg yesterday to inform me, on behalf, for the city, so that I could let you guys know. The funding for the Public Works building was rejected at the state legislature. So we're gonna have to rethink our strategy for going back for that money for next year, but we can go for it again.
And I'll be scheduling a meeting with Representative Gomberg's Chief of Staff to learn as much as I can on that outcome and how we can reorient or better position our request for next year. I did the Chief Pace and I was about to say the chief, and I realized we have more than one. Chief Pace and I did have the opportunity to testify before the Joint Ways and Means Committee on behalf of our project, and I did hear the sheer number of requests in a mid-biennium. Counselor Chambers had kind of talked about the limitations in those mid-biennium budgets, and there were a significant number of not so much individual dollar amounts, but a significant number of individual requests, and some just really, Mike, Chief Pace and I looked at it a few times, looked at each other and said, man, there are some really good projects in the hopper. So any feedback I can get from Representative Gomberg and or his team on how we might better position ourselves in the long session next year, I'll be happy to gather and report back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, my mayor's comments, I can't really think of too much. We've really covered everything tonight. I can't think of anything else. So, future agenda items.
Councilors, I was able to deliver hard copies this evening of an updated issue tracker. There's a few updates in there for you to take a look at over your next meeting. I'm happy to gather any feedback that you may have for timelines, adjustments, or take any additional issues that you'd like to add.
definitely interested in the follow-up related to the after action, just because now it's reminding me. So does that include the kind of long time deliverable that we had to get it up on the website and stuff like that?
Yes, it does, and I anticipate that being done in very short order. I had some additional information from Jensen that I wanted to be able to have on the website along with it. So I do anticipate that being done shortly, and then some further discussions with the city attorney and Jensen on next steps, which I'll bring to council as more information is available. But that was a longer answer than necessary to your question, which was yes.
Great, and for the stray cats matter, I think I might have mentioned this before, but forgive me if I haven't, but the person who we were waiting on, Lisa Spence, who had presented it, I know that I had mentioned that she was traveling for a little while. I do know that she is back from her travels.
Oh, great.
So if connecting with Lisa from the Humane Society, she was the one who we wanted to collaborate with on our stray cats discussion.
Great, thank you, Counselor. I will reach out to her and see about her availability.
I'm hoping we don't, there's one here that I'm not sure when we need to revisit this. It says that we need to discuss it. The Mayor's Committee, Junior Council.
That was a request from former Mayor Cross, and as I was doing an update to this spreadsheet, it was something that I was just reminded of, oh, that was out there, and we have a new mayor, and so it was more a note for myself, for you and I to discuss in our next meeting and see what your thoughts were on that. So nothing new at the moment, but we'll debrief and bring back an update for council.
Well, we had chatted at the retreat about potentially doing something with like the student body
Yes.
officers,
Yes.
school
That's what I was gonna say.
and the council together, so maybe that's a good opportunity to pull
Yeah.
that.
Exactly, yep. Just kind of getting wanted to sit with the mayor and get her thoughts on that structure, and then, bring that to council as an update and have a proposal to kind of bring for your thoughts as well.
So do we want to do that before the meeting on the 18th, or do we want to do it before the meeting on the 25th?
Yeah, I'll put it on the agenda for our meeting, you and I next week, Mayor, and then as part of that meeting, we can talk about when to bring it back for a full council meeting. Yep.
All right. If that is all for the good of the order, we can be adjourned. We are adjourned at 7:07.